Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So happy to have you with us on the live call, and also happy to connect with those of you who will be listening on the replay or watching the replay. And yeah, so also really excited that Patrick Prohaska is back on the show. I think most of you already know him. He's been joining us for several seasons during the past years. And how to say, like, I really love the energy that he embodies, the messages that he shares. And like every time we go deeper into, how to say, into ways we can see the traumas and the limitation of the density that we are experiencing in the physical world, and also how can we embrace our multidimensionality, our true gifts, and we can express those through that 3D limited experience that we are having. And so always the messages he shares are really relevant to the time and the experiences we are having individually and collectively, and really empowering. So very happy that he is back. And so yeah, for those of you who are new to him, he is a teacher, healer, and author, and specializes in consciousness expansion and trauma recovery and sexual healing as well. And the subject today is the higher self embodiment blueprint. So he will be sharing about how can we tap into those unlimited multidimensional gifts, the eternal abundance and vitality of our higher selves. How can we embody that in this physical reality, and the how to say, and how this can be reflected, and how can we create what we may call miracles, but what can become like normal life for us when we connect to our higher selves. So yeah, and also we'll have a Q&A later on the call. If you want to ask Patrick your question, you can raise your hand by pressing react or reaction on Zoom, then raise hand. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And also if you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And yeah, so with that, Patrick, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us.
Thank you so much. It's a joy to be back, and congratulations to you on your brand new season.
No, thank you. Yeah, this is the first call of the new season.
The
And
first
the new
call of
year.
the new season, but it's a number 31, and that's pretty
Yes.
impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, happy to start this season with you. And just for those who are new to you, I would love if you can give us a brief introduction about yourself and your work.
Okay, well, I am the creator of a system called Lightbridge that essentially helps you step into your power as a higher dimensional being. So the main premise of Lightbridge is the fact that you, in your experience in this three-dimensional world, might feel like you are deeply limited in what you can do, be, and have. But the fact of the matter is, you live in higher dimensionality. You are a higher dimensional being. And the goal of Lightbridge is to allow you to tap into those higher dimensional gifts and tools that would allow you to attract to yourself whatever it is you desire in this lifetime, to heal the trauma that you've experienced that keeps you limited in this lifetime, and to clear away all of the limiting beliefs and judgments and expectations and so forth that keep you stuck in reliving over and over again the limitations that you perceive in the here and now. The fact of the matter is that we do live in a three-dimensional world. We live we're subject to linear time and linear space. And we have these physical bodies that have specific limitations built into them. But that does not mean that you are not higher dimensional at your core. You are a higher dimensional being, and you can tap into that higher dimensionality at will when you train yourself to, number one, become aware that you are a higher dimensional being, and number two, do the practices that involve consciousness expansion that allow you to have that experience. So I started many, many years ago. I actually started in childhood. I was a very strange child. I isolated myself from other people. I would often meditate. I would find places to hide out where I wouldn't be bothered so I can sit for hours on end doing nothing except contemplating. And I had no idea that I was meditating. I had no idea what it was at all. Nobody else was doing it, so I didn't have a reference point. Um, so when people would find me, I would say that I was thinking, and everyone thought that that was really weird. So I was bullied a lot, like a lot of hypersensitive children are. And I, over the course of my life, would either dive into and embrace my higher dimensional gifts, or I would shut them down because they were too painful for me to continue with. So I've gone through very long periods of my life where I shut down my intuition, I shut off my higher dimensional vision in order to protect myself and to fit in with the crowd. And then other periods where I realized that that was so limiting. I didn't want to fit in with the crowd. I had nothing in common with the crowd. And therefore, I would dive back into the higher dimensional gifts again. And that led me to a career in the restaurant industry, but it also led me to a PhD program in the religions of ancient India. I studied Ayurveda. I studied different systems of medicinal practices from different cultures. I studied plant medicine, and I studied religion in ancient India in particular. So I became a massage therapist. And once again, I would find myself drifting back and forth between, do I really want to do this or do I really want to do that? Do I want to be a massage therapist and have the experience of being overwhelmed by the empathy that I didn't know how to control? Or did I want to dive into the restaurant industry and play that three-dimensional game where I was competing with other people in order to get the prestige and work with the best chefs and work at the most famous restaurants? Back and forth I went for years until I finally abandoned the restaurant industry, at least restaurant management. I've dabbled in restaurant work otherwise, but I avoid management. And in 2015, I established Lightbridge. It was under a different name back then. It was called Thrive Energetics. But that was when I really began to blossom in my higher dimensional awareness and began to have more extreme out of body experiences, more time casting myself into the astral plane and seeing miraculous events happen on such a regular basis that, as you mentioned at the beginning, they became mundane for me. And that's the experience that I have right now, and I love it. So thank you for letting me ramble on a bit about my history.
Thank you, thank you. I love your story and the journey you've been through, and so we experienced that like this embodiment of our higher self. And maybe I would love if you can give us maybe an introduction about that, because many times when we think about um, the infinite abilities of our higher selves, and when we think about embodying it in the 3D world, sometimes it can be challenging to assimilate that or to understand it.
Yes, yes, absolutely it can. And it can feel so distant, it can feel lofty, and it can feel impossible to connect with. And I often have people ask me the question, how do I connect with my higher self? And the answer that I always give is you don't. You don't connect with your higher self because you already are your higher self. You just don't have the awareness that of that state of being. So the goal is to establish a deeper sense of awareness of who you are in your higher dimensional state. So when I think of the higher self, I think of it in two separate ways. Your higher self is you, completely and utterly free of all of the limiting beliefs and the traumatic experiences and the expectations and judgments and so forth that hold you down. It's you without the baggage that you have picked up over the course of many, many lifetimes living in a three-dimensional world in a physical body. So it's actually, from this perspective, the original you. You before you began to take on all that weight and density, living in a three-dimensional, having a three-dimensional experience. I also think of your higher self as what you are actively growing into now. All of the spiritual work that you're doing, all of the different courses that you've taken, all of the different sessions that you've done with different healers and so forth, and what you've read and so forth, all of that is designed to help you shake off the density of the three-dimensional world and to grow into your higher dimensional state. So, in this sense, the higher self is the future you that you're growing into. And I think it's important for me to think of it in in these terms, because your higher self knows exactly what you need to do to get from here to there. Your higher self knows you intimately. It knows everything that you've ever experienced. It knows what your baggage is, and it knows what you need to do to let go of your baggage so that you can grow into the higher self once again. So it can reach down and offer a hand and pull you up into higher dimensionality as you yourself are taking action to grow spiritually. So I like to work with the higher self as opposed to angels or guardians or the Buddha or other figures. I think there's a lot of power in working with angels and so forth, but I like to work with the higher self because it is you, it knows you intimately, and therefore there's this deep, deep personal connection that is present at all times that you might not have with a more lofty or distant being, such as an archangel and so forth. Not saying that there can't be personal relationships with archangels, but they tend to be more impersonal in my experience. So I like to work with the higher self. And the reason my system is called Light Bridge is because it helps bridge the gap between where you are now and what you want to grow into. And it shines a light on all of the junk that is down there in the gap between here and there so that you can see what your limiting beliefs are. You can see what your limiting patterns of behavior are, and you can see what your limiting expectations are, and you can understand the trauma that you've experienced, both in this lifetime, in your past lifetimes, in your family heritage, trauma that you've witnessed, and so forth, that weighs you down and causes you to expect bad things to happen. So that's Lightbridge in a nutshell. Um, at least that's the overarching theme of Lightbridge. So I tend to work with people um, on a one-to-one basis to help eliminate the blocks that limit them, to eliminate the limiting beliefs, judgments, expectations, biases, and to release the traumatic residue that gums up your energy field and gums up your system and keeps you stuck in a state of density. Is that making sense?
Yes, yes, absolutely, it does. Thank you for that. And talking about density, when it's like it's very loud, we feel it strongly, and we want to create something different. How can we move from that, which feels very real, to that unlimited connection or embodiment of the higher self?
This brings up a really interesting point. I'm so glad you asked that question, because if you have experienced trauma in previous lifetimes and you were born in this lifetime carrying the residue of those past traumatic experiences, if you were born in this lifetime carrying the burden of vows or oaths or obligations or unpaid debts or unfinished business from previous lifetimes, that can limit you in this lifetime. And you grow up with these limitations and they feel normal and natural to you. So you begin to experience the trauma on some level over and over again. The traumatic residue becomes part of the energetic signature that you carry. So the energy that you radiate at all times. Every single one of us has a radiant energy, a radiant signature. And this radiant energy is comprised of thousands upon thousands of different frequencies of vibrational energy that we are broadcasting at all times. So I think it's limiting to think in terms of what number between 1 and 1,000 are you vibrating at? You're vibrating at a broad spectrum of frequencies all at once. So you might be happy and have some sadness in the background of your mind. You might be enjoying your job, but knowing that in the back of your mind that it's not meant for you and therefore you're not fulfilled. And you're broadcasting all these different signals at the same time. Part of that signal that you're broadcasting is modified, it's muted by the trauma, the traumatic residue that's left over from previous lifetimes. So you're this, like, let's say you're a tuning fork and you're broadcasting this signal. And if you have energy that's gumming up the system, then that gummed up energy is going to have an impact on the energy that you radiate. And what ends up happening is you attract opportunities to relive the trauma that you're trying to escape over and over again. But it feels natural, it feels normal. You were born with it, it feels perfectly natural to have that energetic state. So a lot of times what happens is somebody will shake off a limiting pattern, they'll shake off a limiting habit or belief or an expectation, and then it'll feel weird, it'll feel alien. And so they'll bring it back again. I've seen it happen a lot of times where people will hit the reset button after a healing because the new energy that they're feeling is so unfamiliar that the ego begins to panic. The ego doesn't like new emotions that it's never felt before. It doesn't like freedom when it's never had it before. And so it causes you to hit the reset button and bring back some of the issues that you've let go of. That's why uh, it can be a long, arduous process to let go of some of your limiting beliefs and patterns. Is that making sense?
Yes, yes, absolutely, it does. It's like there is this automatic going back to the safety that was created before. And safety doesn't mean like empowering and comfortable. It can be very challenging, but just because we are used to it, then the ego tries to come back to it because it is known.
Yes,
and it
because it
thinks
is
it's safe.
known. Yes.
Yeah,
The ego is very tricky. The ego is very cunning. And the ego does not like you to have radical change because it finds it threatening. The ego would rather live with the pain that it knows intimately than to switch over to something new and different because it finds it threatening. It's um, uh, I don't know, it's a threat to the ego's sense of self or sense of being in the world. So part of the program is also to uh, not, kill the ego, but to silence the ego enough that it doesn't hold you back when you're trying to grow into something new and different.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, and also, you mentioned earlier about uh, how how you prefer to connect to or to embody more the higher self rather than connecting to other beings, because also this many times so it can be, like you said, empowering to connect to other beings, but sometimes we try to bypass the higher self because we have self-doubt, and then as a result we also doubt our higher selves and we don't feel its unlimited power.
Mhm.
um, so how can we recognize, like, what we are feeling? Is it true? Is it just from limiting belief we are created, or something that is real?
Well, that's a really good question because the experience that you have in the world is created by your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. So if you have an expectation of limitation, then that attracts to you the opportunity to experience limitation. If you expect going into a conversation with somebody that an argument is going to ensue, that it's going to be very difficult to have this conversation, that expectation increases the probability that some sort of conflict will emerge during the conversation. So you are actively creating your experience in the world through your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, your expectations, and everything else that makes up that energetic signature that you're broadcasting. So if you can train yourself to have an expectation of miraculous things happening and train yourself to expect opportunities and experiences of higher dimensional awareness and astral projection and psychic experiences and so forth, then you increase the probability that those will happen monumentally. And then after a while, that begins to become mundane for you. So you begin to have higher dimensional experiences, you begin to have out of body experiences, and you don't um, find them to be so shocking or unusual that you kind of freak out a little bit when they happen, or you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe that that happened." If you have a miraculous experience happen, and then you bask in the energy of, "Oh my God, I can't believe that that happened," then you're actually reinforcing the rarity of those miraculous events. So, part of what you need to do is train yourself to live in the expectation of miraculous or uplifting or joyful things happening in your life. That increases the probability and you grow from there. Um, so we do a lot of work on releasing expectations, limiting belief patterns, um, old energies that need to be let go of. And with regard to working with angels and working with other beings and so forth, ancestors and so forth, that can be very, very powerful. So I don't want to say that you shouldn't do that. It's just been my experience that when you're practicing an attunement, that it's a little bit easier to receive an attunement from your higher self than it is from a more distant, loftier being that is more impersonal with relation to you. So, like I said, your higher self knows exactly what you need to do to shift your energy. And when I'm talking about an attunement, what I'm talking about is drawing forth a pattern of energy, a blueprint or a template for a specific energy from some sort of higher source and absorbing it into your system in the here and now. I think that the higher self attunements that I do in Lightbridge can be very transformational and powerful. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Patrick. And yeah, would you like to share more about the subject, or can we move to the questions from
Oh,
the
we can
audience?
move to questions. We can go anywhere you'd like. If you have questions for me, let me know, and I'd be
Okay,
happy to dive into them.
okay, wonderful. So yeah, so a reminder, everyone, if you want to ask Patrick your question, you can raise your hand by pressing react, then raise hand on Zoom. You can press *9 on the phone, and also you can type your questions on the chat box. So we have caller, we have S as the name. Can you please unmute yourself?
Oh, thank you for taking me. This is such a fascinating subject, and I'm glad that you're talking about it. So,
Thank you.
hello, Patrick. This is Cheryl, and I was
Hi,
just
Cheryl.
wondering um, if there's anything that there has to be. So I feel like I'm answering my own question, but I don't know what it is. Any heavy baggage that I'm still holding on to, as far as when you say higher self, I'm imagining my own spirit. So I'm not sure. I used to have a lot of like mystical experiences, and I haven't had them in many years. So I'm just wondering what I'm holding on to, that I can let go. So let go of, so that I can have more of those experiences again.
Yes. So you have what I can sense right now is a blockage in the throat. In fact, there's a quaver in your voice as you're speaking that you might be unaware of. So what that is implying to me is that there is some baggage or a limitation having to do with believing that it's actually possible to get there. There's a sense that I'm picking up from the way you're asking the question that kind of implies that you're scared of the answer. The answer might be you don't have the ability. It's not possible for you. It's not in your cards in this lifetime to have those growthful experiences. So I want to help clear away those beliefs right now that growing into your higher self, having mystical experiences and expanding your consciousness, that it is not only possible for you, it is your birthright. You're allowed to have it. It's safe for you to have. And it, in fact, defines you as a person. So in fact, I'm kind of choking up right now because
I
there
can
is some
actually,
sort of energetic blockage in the throat.
yes, because I can literally feel it right now in my throat, and I don't know what it is or where it is coming from,
Yes.
other than what you've just said.
Mm. Yeah. So it goes back, it goes back into previous lifetimes, but it also is in your family heritage. And it has to do with you being muzzled or shackled or choked in order to keep you from spreading your knowledge to other
Mm,
beings. So there's this trauma that's left over that's stuck in your throat that is basically the trauma of having had the truth choked out of you in previous lifetimes. Now,
wow.
whether that's literally hanging or somebody choking you or you drowning or something like that, uh, the fact is that it creates a fear that if you truly step into your power in this lifetime, there will be consequences and people will turn against you.
Yeah,
And
I'd like to move past that fear.
yeah, yeah, let's. see if we can clear that away. I want to kind of establish a connection with everyone in the group. So if you are doing anything potentially dangerous, or you have a distraction of some sort, please either set it aside or simply set the intention that this energy come to you later so that we can establish a connection with you and with your higher self. And so we can remove this residue that's in your throat that is creating the blockage that prevents you from truly growing into your higher self. Yeah. Yeah, I can very clearly see it's past life trauma. Um, yeah, there's fear there. So I want to establish in your subconscious mind the deep and firm belief that it is safe for you to grow spiritually, to have higher dimensional experiences, and to share your truth with other people. Not everybody, of course, but to share your truth with those who would benefit from it. Because it is a fact of it's just a fact of the world that we live in, that there are people who are not ready for your message, and that's perfectly fine. They will come around. Okay, beautiful. Everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. Release when you're ready. Wow, there's just a lot of fears of unintended consequences for growing spiritually and speaking your truth. So hopefully we've loosened up some of that.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you do, and thank you for taking me. Thank you,
Well,
Monsef.
thank you. Thank you. It's a joy talking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl. Much love. And yeah, thank you, Patrick, for the guidance. So let's see. Robin, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, thanks for the call. It's real exciting. Right when Patrick had finished his statement, what I wrote down was spiritual gifts, and of course, then that's what Cheryl had gone into. So that's kind of so I have another question, but if Patrick, maybe you could do more of a general sort of spiritual gifts to remind us or call back our soul fragments or whatever, as far as what we each possess, kind of, because sometimes we forget.
Yes, we definitely forget. So every single one of you on the call right now has a collection of spiritual gifts. And you might actually have all the gifts, or you might have a couple that you are really good at, that you're suited for in this lifetime. And there's always a reason for you being suited for whatever these gifts are, whether it's clairvoyance, clairaudience. Everyone is born with empathy, even though some people have it damaged or shut off. Everyone is born with cellular intuition, which helps the cells of the body communicate with each other. And that's a foundation for picking up energy outside the body as well. But these higher dimensional gifts that include all different types of intuition, you may have one or two that you are particularly gifted at, and the others just kind of lie there in the background dormant until you're ready for them. So let's kind of call forth whatever your primary gift is. So everyone in the group, simply, instead of saying, I know what my primary gift is, it's this is what I want to empower, allow your higher self to choose for you which gift we're going to be focusing on right now. So something may pop into your mind that's different than what you're thinking of. And it could be any of the intuitive gifts. There's a whole spectrum of intuitive gifts. It could just be um, intuition with money. It can be intuition about how to manage your children. It can be intuition that's connecting you at a distance to your loved ones and so forth, whatever gift is for you. And we want to clear away the blockages and the limiting beliefs that would prevent you from stepping into and fully embracing this gift, whatever it is. Beautiful. So we want to, first of all, download or allow to emerge from within you a deep awareness, the perspective on this gift as it's understood and enjoyed by your higher self. Because your higher self is already a master of this gift. Beautiful. We want to make sure that your subconscious mind understands that you have permission to develop this gift. You're allowed. Nobody is forbidding you from developing this gift, and you're not forbidding yourself. You don't need to forbid yourself. So you have permission. It is allowed. Okay, we want to clear away any and all beliefs that tell you that it's not possible for you to develop this and establish a deep conviction that it's possible for you. Okay, one of the major blockages that people have, we want to establish a deep belief that it is safe for you to develop this gift. So anywhere and everywhere you've decided that it's dangerous, that there will be unintended consequences, that you will lose your friends, that it will be painful because you'll be overwhelmed with information, that you'll discover things that you don't want to know about other people, you won't be able to turn it off, or whatever the consequence is that you're deeply afraid of. We want to clear that away and reinforce the belief that it is safe for you to develop this gift. Okay. We want to establish a deep-seated belief that you are worthy of developing this gift. So anywhere and everywhere you've decided that you're not good enough, you're not advanced enough, you weren't born into the right lineage, you don't have the proper skill set, you're not intelligent enough, you're not worthy of developing this gift. We want to clear all that away and replace it with an awareness that you are deeply worthy. Beautiful. Anywhere and everywhere you've decided that you're not ready for this gift, that you'd be turning it on too soon, and therefore there would be consequences. It's establish a deep-seated feeling of readiness for this gift to come online. Beautiful. And finally, anywhere and everywhere you've decided that it's simply not you to have this gift, that it does not define you as a person. It's not part of your identity. Let's clear that away and bring in a deep belief that developing this gift defines you as a person. It defines your experience in the world. It is part of your identity to have this gift online. And then anything else that may be blocking the development or emergence of this gift, let's clear it away right now. Okay, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. Oh, and release when you're ready.
That was pretty incredible. My crown chakra was like, whoo. And then my whole third eye is like, so I have a second part. So I know we had our call last week. And so I know when we talk about clearing away some
We've lost your audio.
You're muted. You are muted, Robin.
Sorry. So one of the things that came to me was past lives. So, we often have more than one. And so, um, so what came to me was that I'm carrying guilt because like a self-image, maybe it was something, being in a nun or a monastery or something, but self-image or vanity, that's one of the seven sins or whatever. Like, I can't maintain, like that persona or something, because there's something with past life with guilt.
It's very, very common for people to, especially people who are spiritually growing and spiritually advanced, and like the people in this group, it's very common to have previous lifetimes in monastic settings or in a nunnery or a monastery, whether it's Christian or Buddhist or Hindu or Mayan or Incan or whatever. And typically, when you're in that type of setting, you take a number of vows or there are a number of expectations that are placed upon your behavior. And if you are living your life on your terms in this lifetime, but you still have a vow left over from a previous lifetime that says that you will live a simple life, you will a vow of poverty or a vow of service or a vow of obedience or whatever the vow is, you can feel very, very guilty living your life on your terms in this lifetime until that vow is cleared.
Right. So like, like if you um gain 10 pounds, then you'll lose it. But then you'll gain it back 6 months or next year or whatever, that kind of thing. So I was like, there's got to be something, because it's not this lifetime, it's something that from before. So that's why I got that whole self-image vanity thing where, I'm not supposed to concentrate on,
Yeah, so you probably have a vow of humility from a previous lifetime, or you were in an environment in which uh, people were systematically beaten down to not be vain. So, and vanity in this lifetime, uh, it is a limiting energy. I mean, everyone wants to look their best, but when it kind of overwhelms everything else in your life and it becomes a desperate need, then there's a problem there. But what it sounds like is the problem that you're experiencing is the guilt
Mhm.
associated with wanting to live life on your terms. So
Right.
that sounds like a monastic vow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Was that
Thank
helpful?
you.
Well, can you clear it?
Let's do this for everyone on the group. If you have, oh gosh, this is going to open up into a couple of different things. Okay. So for any and all oaths, vows, promises, or other forms of obligation left over from previous lifetimes, whether they are in a monastic setting or otherwise, let's clear them now. Let's mark them null and void and release you from their grip in the present. Okay. For any and all unfinished business that you have left over from previous lifetimes that you cannot reasonably fulfill in this lifetime, let's mark all of that business complete and done, over with, so that you can move on and live life on your terms. Okay. And for any and all unpaid debts that are left over from previous lifetimes that cannot be reasonably repaid in this lifetime, let's mark all of those debts null and void. This includes debts people have to you, and debts that you have to other people, because this is one of the most common ways people in this lifetime will court each other, because they both sense that there is unfinished business or an unpaid debt left over from a previous lifetime, and you can feel guilty not knowing, you not having any clue why. Okay, let's release all of that. Ooh, wow. Okay, everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release when you're ready. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Robin, and also thank you very much, Patrick, for the healing and guidance. And we will continue with the questions in a little bit. I just want to take some time to talk about the program you are offering, which is the Higher Self Embodiment Blueprint. And there's also 45-minute one-on-one Lightbridge healing session with you, a 30-day of the Daily Blast, and other bonuses. And I invite everyone to visit the page, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, PATRICK. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and I will put it on the chat boxes as well. So, so Patrick, I would love if you can tell us about this program.
Okay, so I put together what I think is a very, very powerful package that's pretty compressed. So it's 10 audio recordings plus some really powerful bonuses that are all designed to bring you into higher dimensional awareness and awareness of your deep connection with your higher self, so that you can more effectively live as your higher self. So we start by invigorating your energetic matrix, and this is something that I do in all of my packages, because what we want to do is clear away all of the residue and blockages that are gumming up your energy field. This way, the attunements that we draw from your higher self have a greater chance of actually settling in and being absorbed and embodied in your system. So we work on your crystalline matrix, your morphogenetic field that gives rise to your physical, mental, emotional, and etheric bodies. And of course, there are others as well, but this is where we start. And then there are audio recordings that will help you develop your awareness of your higher self. One's entitled Be Your Higher Self. One is on the power of savoring, which is the heart and soul of Lightbridge. Savoring involves the ability to have a clear vision of exactly what it is you desire, and to be able to taste it now, to feel as if you have this goal accomplished, even if you haven't even started yet. That is much more powerful than the away from energy that most people feel. Usually, when you want something, you're in the painful energy of not having it yet. And when you're in the painful energy of not having it yet, that is something that impacts the energy that you broadcast to the universe, and the universe reflects it back to you with more opportunities not to have the thing that you desire. But if you can really get into savoring what your desires are, then the joy of having it is part of the energy you broadcast, and you dramatically increase the probability of receiving it. There's a session on activating your radiant charisma. And what I mean by radiant charisma is your ability to broadcast a positive energy on autopilot without having to force yourself, without having to think about it. The vast majority of the people that you know, the vast majority of the people in this world are broadcasting unintentional uh, pain and limitations in their energy field. Most of your thoughts and your beliefs and your judgments and so forth are unconscious. And if those thoughts and beliefs and expectations and so forth are negative, and you bask in negativity, then that's part of the energy that you broadcast. So we want you to have this radiant charisma where you are constantly broadcasting vibrant positive energy at all times. So that's what gets reflected back to you. There's a track on the embodiment of power. There are the youth and vitality activations in order to help you feel really comfortable and vibrant in your physical body and your mental and emotional as well. There's a section, or there's this recording on what I call body love, which is the ability to love yourself exactly as you are right now, even if there are things that you might want to change. There's a recording that is designed to help revitalize your brain. There is a recording on what I call pinnacle consciousness. So this is peak consciousness. Some people call it Christ consciousness or Buddha mind. This is an activation to help you kind of expand your consciousness to the point where you can really begin to embody Buddha mind, Christ consciousness, pinnacle consciousness, or whatever else you want to, however else you want to call it. And then there's a track that is my heart expansion meditation. Everyone loves the heart expansion guided meditation, so I've included it here. It's very powerful. It makes you feel deeply connected with all of nature and all of the people in the world, and allows you to spread unconditional love and receive unconditional love from all over. So those are the recordings that are in the package. And then there are some bonuses. There's my manifestation mastery workshop. There is something that I call my 5x5 attunement workshop, in which I take the 5 most important dimensions of your life and the 5 most important energies for you to embody, and do attunements for each and every one of those. So you end up receiving 25 attunements in all in this 5x5 workshop. It's really powerful. And it's definitely worth experiencing. And then a future vision guided meditation closes out the bonuses for that package. So that's package A. Package B adds a 45-minute Lightbridge session with me one-on-one, so we can work on whatever you'd like to work on, and what I call the daily blast, which is 30 days of energy. Every day when I meditate, I send a blast of energy to whoever's on my list, and it will come to you at random times during the day for 30 days in order to help uplift you and keep you on your track. So those are the 2 packages that I'm offering, and I hope you find them compelling.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Patrick,
Yeah, thank you.
for the offering the packages. And yeah, they feel really quite powerful. So thank you for the recordings. And I love that, like, part of the work we are doing is allowing a shift that will be natural, because many times we try to force changing things, but with the energy work and guidance you offer, it helps to create a much profound and natural shift that can be experienced in our reality. And also thank you for the 1 month supports, energy supports with the daily blast and the one-on-one session as well. So thank you for that. And so again, everyone, you can find the program on the page, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, PATRICK. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live event page, later on the replay page. the link also on YouTube video description and on the chat boxes. Let's see. So we have a feedback first from Myra or Mira. Much appreciation, Monsef, for your gift to us all, for your program to bring wonderful guests like Patrick. Thank you, Patrick, for your clearing for us. Your gift is over and above. Much love to all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Myra. Robin, thank you, Patrick and Monsef. Thank you, Robin. And so we have Sue. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello, Amanda Seth. Happy New Year. Hello, Patrick.
Happy New Year.
Hello. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, it's going to be a great year. Anyway, I have a question. Thank you for taking my call. Much appreciated. I've been this has been a wild couple days now. Energy has just been wild. But anyway, I've been seeing like a ring of fire. I'm standing in this ring, and it says about burning, and my whole body will get real hot, and actually my eyes will start burning. Now, I have a challenge with my eyesight, with my central vision. What I've been finding out is I'm seeing in two different worlds. I have the 3D vision for peripheral, but I have the 8th dimension vision in my central. But I feel the central is starting coming back, that I'm starting to see a little bit better with it. So I went through all the trauma of that, worked on and everything. But now I'm having this, I call it my ring of fire. I don't know if it's my higher self telling me something, but it's been ever since like 2 days ago, this started out of nowhere. But yet my eyes start burning.
Full moon?
And my whole body just gets hot.
Okay. Yeah, so it started with the full supermoon. Okay, it sounds like, which may be magnifying things. When you feel the burning, is it painful or is it neutral?
Right now, it's kind of stationary, like on my left side, I guess, which is the feminine, in my knee and in my hip. Like I had a hard time walking today. Then all of a sudden it'll kind of go away, and then it comes back when I think of this ring of fire.
Yeah, so it's painful.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't feel good.
So let's see if, typically when I think of a ring of fire or the experience of fire, what I'm thinking of is the burning off of residue, the burning off of implants and energies that do not belong to you, the burning off of any limiting belief systems, or even the burning off of entities that may be connected with you. So let's see if we can find a way to allow you to release whatever the dense energy is that you need to release without fire and the experience of fire being the mechanism for it. Let's see if we can establish for you and for everyone else a spontaneous ability to simply take any energy that doesn't belong to you and send it up into Creator's light so it can be reabsorbed and burnt up there rather than in your body. So sending it up into Creator's light so that energy can be reused in different ways.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see if we can set this up for you and for everyone else.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure you're not the only person with the pattern of feeling physical burning when you're releasing density or energy that doesn't belong to you. and you're heavily laden with energy that doesn't belong to you. They're hooks, they're cords, they're cables, they're spy bots, they're puppet strings, all sorts of things to burn away. And that's not unusual. That's pretty common. Let's see if
Oh,
we can just release them, let them go. Okay. So for everyone on the call, for any and all implants or dark energies or energetic gum in your system that is ready to be released now, let's simply let it go, allow it to rise up into creator's light where it can be reabsorbed into the universe, where it can be burnt up and reabsorbed into the universe so that energy can be used elsewhere. And that way you don't have to burn it up in your body to get rid of it. You can send it elsewhere to be incinerated. Okay. Can everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment? And release when you're ready. Okay.
Patrick, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so when we're talking about implants and stuff, because I know occasionally.
Just sorry, Robin, we need to finish first with Sue.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, Sue, how do you
sorry for
feel?
that.
Sue, are you?
yes,
How do you feel?
I'm here.
How are you feeling?
I'm I'm hearing that Johnny Cash song, "The Burning Ring of Fire," you know, burn, 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 and whatever in the flames. And I started like stuff started just like releasing off my body,
Yeah.
and like some kind of hooks were like coming like out of my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said,
It
you
was
were fairly heavily laden with hooks, all sorts of kinds of hooks, and not just, a lot of hooks are designed to control you, puppet strings
oh,
and so forth, or spy bots that are designed to, look into what you're doing, tethers of whatever kind. But a lot of them were there to suck energy out of you, siphons. So there's some vampiric energy that you were experiencing that needed to be eliminated as well.
because it was like I mainly felt it. I always felt like there was this webbing like over my eyes, and all of a sudden now, like when you did that, especially on the left eye, it's like somebody pulled out something out of it. It's like okay, and the body calmed down. Now the body got cooler. I mean, it was really hot, and now it's cooling down.
Yeah, good, good. So you don't need to internalize that ring of fire. You can externalize it. So it doesn't need to
Oh,
burn up inside your body. You can send the density into the fire outside of your body.
to
And
cleanse.
that's just, yeah, that cleansing. It still will be cleansing, but you won't feel the pain.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. And I know this had to come from a past life, and it seems now it just released, especially in the eyes, like I said. Some kind of, I call them hooks, I don't know, but it just felt different. And the body now cooled down and feels better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that, and blessings to you. And I hope it helped anybody else that had the same problem on the call. And thank you, Manaseth. As usual, blessings to you and lots of love. You just have on the greatest people for healing. So thank you. For 2026, I got my other miracle again now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Sue. Much love.
Okay.
And thank you, Patrick, for
Thank
the
you.
guidance and clearing.
And
And
I'm fascinated to hear Robin's question.
okay. So, Robin, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Sure. I know you probably go through it with your light bridge, but as far as like the technique, so let's say all of a sudden she has that pain again in her eye. What's the best solution? Do you say, I want to call back with Patrick's healing, from January 6th, or is there something, or just because sometimes I know, we'll command the pain to go to the, go to the light to be, clear, cancel, delete. But I just didn't know if you had a suggestion as far as if something does come back, or certain
Yeah.
pain or migraine or something.
So the same pain should not come back unless somebody has hit the reset button and reinstalled it. So once the dark energy or the implant is sent into creator's light to be burnt up and used elsewhere, it should be gone. But the experience that we have as human beings, it's often like we're peeling back layers of an onion. And what happens is you peel off a layer of the onion, but the onion doesn't get smaller because what's underneath it expands to fill the space. And you may end up having multiple hooks or multiple cords or implants and so forth that you need to clear out. And it becomes a practice that you do for a while until you're finished. So others emerge as the space is made available when you remove a hook or a cord. Now, I'm a big fan, and I want to do this for everyone right now. I'm a big fan of whenever you remove an implant, which is some sort of energy that does not belong to you, when you remove that implant, it can leave a socket behind, a hole or a space that another implant can get plugged into. So I want to fill all that space up with unconditional love. So if you remove a hook from your eye, there's not a really convenient socket left behind for somebody else to plug in another hook. So let's flood whatever holes are left behind with unconditional love or light energy or joy energy or something positive to fill up that space so that nothing else can hook in to take the place of what you've pulled out. Okay. Implants are fascinating. Okay. And you mentioned earlier soul fragments. Soul fragments are explants. So it's whenever there's an energy that belongs to you has somehow ended up in a different location outside of you, in another person. Um, so let's do a retrieval of soul fragments right now for those who are ready for it, because sometimes you need to set the stage for soul fragment retrieval because oftentimes soul fragments end up in people that you're in love with and you broke up with and you're hooked into and so forth. But let's see if we can restore those soul fragments right now. Okay, so any explants, any energy that belongs to you that you have either handed over or somebody has taken from you, let's draw it back right now. This will be good for Sue because there was that vampiric energy that I noticed. somebody is drawing energy off of her. It'd be nice to reclaim that energy now. Beautiful. Everyone take a deep breath and hold it. Release when you're ready. Okay. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Patrick, for the clearing. Robin wrote, thanks for clarifying. Powerful caffeine. Thank you. And so we have a question from Lisa on YouTube. Not sure if the clearing you did for Sue works with her as well. She mentioned she experienced dark attack every day, her and her husband. And she said it is because she is the divine light and the healer. This is why she is experiencing that. And she's asking support regarding that.
Yeah, there's some sort of belief there that goes hand in hand, that the more light you shine, the more darkness is attracted to shut you down. Let's see if we can break that pattern for you and for whoever else. Yeah, because it is true that we live in a world where there are lots and lots of people who are deeply invested in darkness. There are lots and lots of people who are deeply invested in the old way of doing things, which is the three-dimensional competition for limited resources, zero-sum game. If you have more power, that means there's less power for me. That whole mindset, which is nonsense from a higher dimensional perspective. Lots of people are deeply invested in that. And as you shine your light to as many people as you possibly can, those people that are deeply invested in the old way of doing things are digging their heels in and doubling down, and they may be attacking and subconsciously attacking and so forth. So see if we can find a way to insulate you from the energy of people invested in darkness or invested in old ways of doing things. Okay. And what I'm referring to there is that you all know that we are growing into the age of Aquarius. This is a process that unfolds over the course of many, many decades, if not centuries. And in the age of Aquarius, people develop a deep awareness of their higher dimensional nature and a deep awareness that their power lies inside them, and that it's through your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, your expectations that you create the world, you create your experience in the world. And therefore, if you can take control of all of that, you can create something beautiful, and you can do it in conjunction with like-minded people. So the old age, it's called the age of Pisces, but it really has nothing to do with Pisces characteristics. In that age, power was seen as external, and you had to compete over limited resources to get power. And that's why we have the getting more and more extreme all the time right now, people consolidating political and financial power into the pockets of a very tiny group of people who want to control the entire world. That eventually will fall away, but it's going to be a little bit of chaos and unpleasantness in the meantime. So that's the shift that we're going through right now that we all signed up for. We all signed up to be light bearers and bring in this new age. So you, as a light bearer, are attracting the attention of people who don't want you to shine your light. So let's see if we can set up some protection for you so that you can shine your light and have it recognized by the people that want to see it, not by the people who are against it. Okay. Ooh, everyone take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. Release when you're ready. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Patrick, for the clearing and guidance. And also thank you, Lisa, for your question. Much love. And yeah, so Patrick, thank you so much for everything you shared with us today. It was quite empowering, very inspiring call. Really love this. And thank you also for the support you gave to our audience.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah. Always a pleasure to have you with us here. So thank you again. And also everyone, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for your presence, whether on the live call or the replay. And thank you for the comments and questions. And again, you can sign up for one of the 2 packages that Patrick is offering to us. And they include the Higher Self Embodiment Blueprint program, 45 minutes one-on-one light bridge healing session, 30-day of the daily blast, and 3 other bonuses. And you can find them on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Patrick, PATRICK. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, the link also on YouTube video description, and on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. So yeah, thank you, Laura, Charlotte, thank you, Patrick, and Monsef. So yeah, thank you again, everyone. I'm sending you so much love, and then we see you on the next call. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.